Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. I'm your guy, Boulanger. I'm back. You're back. We're all back. Let's go. So, up next in today's video, man, we're going to be talking about the Baltimore Ravens having the most complete team they've had in a decade, but they're still vulnerable. Before I get started, man, do me a quick favor, hit likes, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get updates when we upload new content. Let's go. So, I've been away on vacation, man, for about 10 to 12 days, and just made a decision, man, to stay away from the camera, stay away from the phone, and just kind of, just chill, hang out with the fam, and kind of, just kind of relax and refresh. But I still stayed plugged in, man, to what was going on with the Baltimore Ravens, and so um, I was expecting big news coming out of mandatory minicamp. I was expecting a big buzz about Lamar Jackson. I was expecting a big buzz about some UDFA man who showed out. I was expecting a lot of big time news coming out of mandatory minicamp. And unfortunately, man, I didn't. I did hear some good reports, but the one thing that I did come away with out of mandatory minicamp is that the Baltimore Ravens are super vulnerable at the running back position. The Baltimore Ravens are thin at the running back position. And here's why. Okay. Coming into this off season, and in preparation for the 2023 season, I think we all believe that J.K. Dobbins would have been the workhorse, the number one guy in the Baltimore Ravens backfield. And so, from everything I've read and heard and seen, certainly was an expectation that he showed up and participated in mandatory minicamp. I mean, for goodness sakes, it is mandatory minicamp. But unfortunately, man, J.K. Dobbins made a different decision. And kudos to him, man. Congratulations to him for being able to stand up for whatever he believes in, whether it's new contract, whether he's standing up for other running backs, man, who may have been served some type of injustice, or maybe he's standing up for the devaluing of the running back position. Whatever it is, and the long and short of it is that it makes the Baltimore Ravens vulnerable at the running back position. Okay. See, when your number one guy or your supposed number one guy does not show up for mandatory minicamp, that kind of leans into some unpredictability. That kind of leans into, will he show up for training camp? I know good and well he's not going to hold out. At least I don't believe he'll hold out. Why? Why don't I believe that? Well, number one, his value is not at a place right now where he can afford to hold out. So I'm not talking about the money he's made pertaining to J.K. Dobbins. I'm talking about his value. J.K. Dobbins has literally missed more games than he's been available for. That's number one. Number two, J.K. Dobbins missed the entire season 2 years ago. J.K. Dobbins missed roughly half the season last year due to injury. Okay. So he can afford to hold out. Okay. So I do believe he will show up for training camp, but it does create a level of unpredictability because he did not show up for mandatory minicamp. Okay, when installs are supposed to be happening, where you begin to develop a rhythm with the other guys on the offense, where you begin to learn and be taught the scheme, things of that nature, blocking, whole concepts, all those kind of things that he didn't show up for that. Okay, so that's the number one reason why I believe the Baltimore Ravens are vulnerable at the running back position. Number two, Gus Edwards is not healthy. Okay. Gus Edwards missed the entire year 2 years ago, just as J.K. Dobbins did. Okay. Gus Edwards came into last year not healthy. He was never 100% last year. And then even though he came back and he played, uh, he dealt with some other lower body injuries. And we understand that when players are injured in that lower body area, sometimes other injuries are spawned out of that because of trying to overcompensate for the injured limb. So that makes total sense. But here we are 6 months almost past the end of the 2022 season, and Gus Edwards is still dealing with some type of injury. And so that is concerning. Okay. And that makes us thin. That makes us vulnerable. So Justice Hill, stepped to the forefront and did his thing from everything that I've read and heard, everything I'm sure you guys have read and heard. But here's the fact of the matter. When Justice Hill is your number one guy, right? And then when there was no other buzz about any other guy, there wasn't any buzz about Keaton Mitchell unless I just missed it. Okay. There was no other UDFA running back news. There was none of that somebody else showed out at the running back position. And I understand we're going to be, more of a passing team, have more passing concepts. I get all of that. But the fact of the matter is we still need uh healthy running backs to take some of that pressure off that passing game. And so right now, I think that we're vulnerable. There are some guys out there that the Baltimore Ravens could consider. First up is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is not the Dalvin Cook of old. He's not the Dalvin Cook of 3 years ago. He's not the Dalvin Cook of 2 years ago. But Dalvin Cook is a player who has ran for four consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, which is super impressive. Okay, he is approaching 30 at 28 years old, which means he's long in the tooth for a running back. But I'm not looking at Dalvin Cook for 2 or 3 years. I'm looking at Dalvin Cook for a 1 year opportunity, right? So he would be an option. But you go get Dalvin Cook if J.K. Dobbins is totally in the doghouse. Okay, so Dalvin Cook is still available. So maybe that happens, depending on, kind of what the interactions are with JK and the Ravens over the next couple of weeks. Okay. Kareem Hunt is still out there, last I checked. Okay, he's not the Kareem Hunt of old, but he still has some gas in the tank. He still can run between the tackles. He still can get to the edge, and he's still a great receiver out of the backfield. Again, you're not looking for him to be coming and be a workhorse. You're looking for him to come in and be one of many. I'm just talking about some players who can provide depth. All right. Um, Another guy who's available is Ezekiel Elliott. Now, I'm not too high on Ezekiel Elliott, but he is still formidable in some aspects. You're not looking for Ezekiel Elliott to come in and run the ball 25 times a game. You're not looking for that anymore. You know what I'm saying? At this point, Ezekiel Elliott's career, if he get 10 to 12 touches a game, he's able to run downhill and take that big body and smash into some players. That could be beneficial for the Baltimore Ravens. Zeke Edwards did show an ability to catch the ball, especially in his later years in Dallas. So, that could be a possibility. Am I saying go get him? No, but I'm saying that if some of the other stuff we have going on is going to be unpredictable, then I certainly am okay with them giving Ezekiel a try. All right. Excuse me for the light flashing. Forgive me. Um, and then another guy that's out there is Kenyon Drake. We understand who Kenyon Drake is. He played for us last year and ran the ball well. He's a serviceable guy. He's not a workhorse type guy, but again, we don't need a workhorse. We need a guy who can plug in, catch the ball, run the ball, um, and not put the ball on the ground. Kenyon Drake, can be that for us, and so I think that he is a viable option. Then the last guy who was just released a couple of weeks ago by the New England Patriots is James Robinson. I believe his first name is James. He was a guy who played very, very well down in Jacksonville, but when they drafted the young guy out of Clemson, the young running back out of Clemson, who was a teammate of Trevor Lawrence, that kind of set the clock ticking for James Robinson. He was traded to the New York Jets. Then he played there 1 year, and then he was picked up by the New England Patriots. I'm not sure what he has left in the tank, but I know he's a young running back. He's not old by any means, and so he could be a viable option. Just a guy you can pick up cheap, and he can come in and create some competition. Uh, all I'm speaking of is not getting rid of anybody. I'm not saying get rid of Gus. I'm not saying get rid of JK. I'm not saying any of that. But I'm just saying we understand that coming out of minicamp, mandatory minicamp, that is, that Justice Hill was the #1 running back. Let's just be honest. And if that's the situation at mid-June at this point, then we are vulnerable at the running back position. So let me know if you guys think of anybody else that may be out there on the street that could be available, that could be serviceable in the Baltimore Ravens backfield. Uh, and we'll talk about it, of course. So listen, let me know what you guys want me to know, man. It's really, really good to be back. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. I got more on Baltimore Ravens vulnerabilities. Stay tuned, coming up shortly. I'm your guy Boulanger, and we're out.